Dear Taurus, I need you to listen closely, not just with your ears, but with that deep, steady part of your soul that recognizes truth when it feels it. If you have found your way to this video and you find yourself sleeping alone at night, your bed feeling vast and quiet beside you, know that this is not a coincidence. It is a sacred appointment. Before we delve into the heart of this message, I want to create a small anchor for our time together. If this solitude is your current reality, whether by choice or by circumstance, I invite you to go to the comments now and write, "My own peace is my foundation." Let this be our shared declaration, a gentle reminder that what feels like emptiness is, in fact, holy ground. You see, this period of sleeping alone, whether you are single, separated, or simply in a season where your partner is physically absent, is not a punishment from the universe. It is not a sign that you have been forgotten. On the contrary, it is a profound act of grace. The universe has not abandoned you. It has grounded you. It has drawn a protective circle around you, creating a sanctuary where your true essence can finally be heard, away from the noise and expectations of others. For so long, dear Taurus, your steadfast energy, like the earth itself, has been the foundation for everyone around you. You are the rock in the family, the dependable friend everyone turns to in a storm, the partner who loves with a patient and tangible devotion. But have you ever felt that your stability was treated not as a gift, but as an entitlement, that others built their lives upon the foundation you provided, yet never once thought to ask if the keeper of that foundation was tired? This period of solitude is a direct answer to that silent, unasked question. It is the universe's way of gently removing those who have grown accustomed to the comfort you provide without ever honoring the soul who provides it. In the deafening silence of an empty room, you are not being diminished, you are being restored. Every night you spend alone is a reclamation of your own ground. It's a slow, deliberate process of untangling your energy from the people and situations that had learned to take your presence for granted. I recall a conversation with a wonderful woman, a Taurus, whose patience seemed almost infinite. She had spent years in a relationship where she was the creator of comfort, yet was subtly criticized whenever she needed something for herself. Her partner loved the sanctuary she built, but he couldn't handle the needs of the architect. He wanted the beautiful, stable home, but not the woman who was the home's source. When the relationship ended, the emptiness in her house was agonizing at first. She told me, "I felt like an ancient tree, uprooted from its own soil. Where am I supposed to be rooted now?" That question lies at the heart of this transformation. This time alone is teaching you, on a cellular level, that you are your own home. You are not meant to be the foundation for someone else. You are stable because it is your nature. The earth does not need permission to be solid, and a mountain does not wait for an audience to be majestic. Your purpose is not to be a sanctuary for others to inhabit. It is to be a self-sustaining ecosystem, whole and complete within yourself. This is not just a personal journey, it is an alchemical one. In the crucible of solitude, all the energetic residue of past compromises is being burned away. Think of every time you had to swallow your own needs to keep the peace. Think of the times you patiently built and provided. only to be met with lukewarm appreciation. Think of the moments you clung to something familiar, even when it no longer brought you joy, simply because you feared change. All of that is being dissolved, night after night, in the quiet of your own space. Your energy field is undergoing a profound purification. It is being retuned to a frequency that will no longer tolerate being a backup plan, a convenience, or an afterthought. The universe is lovingly, patiently recalibrating you so that you can only resonate with what is a true and total match for your profound worth. You are not just healing, you are becoming energetically discerning in a way you have never been before. You may have already noticed the signs. People from your past might reappear, drawn to the memory of your old accommodating energy, only to find themselves baffled by your newfound boundaries. Situations that once triggered deep anxiety may now feel strangely distant. Your tolerance for instability, for insincerity, for anything that doesn't feel genuinely secure has likely plummeted. This is not you becoming difficult. This is you becoming authentic. You are no longer willing to betray your own peace for the sake of a false harmony. For the single Taurus woman, this process is preparing you to attract a love that does not seek to inhabit your peace, but to stand beside you and build a shared world on two solid foundations. For the separated or divorced, this is a sacred healing of the deepest wounds, ensuring that the next chapter is built from a place of wholeness, not lack. And for those whose partners are away, this time is fortifying your emotional independence, creating a dynamic where your reunion will be a meeting of two whole individuals, not two halves trying to complete each other. The process is universal, even if the circumstances are unique. You are being polished. Imagine a raw, magnificent diamond. For its true brilliance and solidity to be seen, it must be cut and faceted. This period of solitude is the master craftsman's work. It can feel sharp, it can feel lonely, but the result is a resilience and beauty that will be undeniable. When a Taurus woman completes this sacred cycle of solitary transformation, she doesn't just become more attractive, she becomes magnetic in an almost spiritual sense. Her presence becomes a force. It is not an aggressive power, but a quiet, unshakable self-possession. People feel it. They are drawn not just to her beauty or her charm, but to the deep well of peace and security she emanates. Are you ready for that? Are you ready for a life where you are seen, truly seen, for the entirety of who you are? What is happening to you in these quiet nights is an activation of your divine power. Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of love, beauty, value, and pleasure. When you are alone, free from the pull of others' needs, this Venusian energy can finally turn inward, healing and fortifying your own sense of self-worth. You are becoming a woman who knows her own value, not as an intellectual concept, but as a lived, embodied reality. Over the next few weeks and months, you will notice more of these subtle shifts. You will find yourself walking with a new kind of grace, taking up space without apology. Your voice may carry a new resonance, a quiet authority that commands respect without demanding it. Your intuition, always a friend, will become your most trusted advisor. You will be able to feel, almost instantly, the intentions behind people's words. You will know who is there to add to your sanctuary and who is there to drain its resources. And perhaps the most profound shift of all, you will stop feeling lonely, even when you are physically alone. Your own company will become a cherished sanctuary of peace and creativity. This is the ultimate sign that the transformation is nearing completion. A woman who is whole does not seek a relationship to fill a void. She attracts a relationship because her fullness is a beautiful, irresistible invitation. Now, the universe's message also comes with a gentle warning, one of preparation. As your new energetic frequency stabilizes, you will begin to receive offers and invitations. Some will be romantic, others professional or social. These are not random occurrences. They are tests. They are opportunities for you to practice your new discernment. Some of these offers will feel familiar. They will echo the lukewarm relationships and good enough situations of your past. They will be tempting because they offer an escape from solitude and a return to a comfortable, known pattern. This is your test to resist the pull of the comfortable cage. It might be a person who offers surface-level security but lacks the emotional depth to truly meet you. It will feel safe, but your soul will know it is a limitation. The key is not to analyze them with your mind, which can rationalize anything. The key is to trust the wisdom of your body. Your body is now a finely tuned instrument. It will recoil from what is false. It will relax and expand in the presence of what is true. Trust its signals above all else. Every time you say no to something that is not fully aligned, you send a powerful message to the universe. I am ready for what I truly deserve. This journey is not just for you. Your transformation is becoming a beacon. You are, perhaps without even realizing it, becoming an example to others of what is possible when a woman refuses to settle for a shaky foundation. You are becoming a leader, not by giving speeches, but by living your truth. This is a profound reversal of the old dynamic. You are no longer entering situations hoping to prove your worth. You are now standing in your sovereignty, allowing others to show you if they are worthy of being in your presence. This is not arrogance, it is the natural result of deep self-love. Every night that you have chosen to honor your solitude, instead of filling it with distraction, has been a sacred vow to yourself. And the universe has been listening. It has witnessed your patience, your faith, and your quiet courage. And now it is preparing to reward you in a way that will make sense of every tear, every lonely moment, every time you chose to trust the process, even when it was hard. What is coming is not just a better relationship or a better life. It will be an experience so deeply secure and beautifully aligned with the woman you have become that you will look back on this period of solitude not with regret, but with profound gratitude. You will understand, with every fiber of your being, why you had to walk this path alone. You had to return to yourself, to the powerful, magnetic, sovereign woman you were always meant to be, before you could attract a life that truly honored her. This phase of sleeping alone is coming to an end. Soon, you will no longer be alone out of necessity, but by choice. Your life will be filled with such wonderful options that you will be able to be exquisitely selective. And when you finally choose to share your bed, your heart, and your life again, it will be with someone who understands the profound honor of being in the presence of a woman who has walked through fire and emerged not burned, but grounded and radiant. Be gentle with yourself in these final stages. You are integrating profound energetic shifts. Trust the process. Trust the wisdom of your own heart. You did not get left behind. You were set apart to build your foundation for a purpose far greater than you could have imagined. You are not the woman who sleeps alone by circumstance anymore. You are becoming the woman who chooses, with wisdom and grace, who is worthy of sharing her sacred sanctuary. Your transformation is almost complete. Your new life is about to begin.